Welcome back to class. We're going to talk about importing and exporting data into and out of R. This time specifically, we're looking at copying and pasting data because sometimes you just need to get data in really quickly to play around with. So I'll show you a couple of packages to do that. One is something called Tibble. That's a way to deal with data structures in a readable way. So we'll try library Tibble. If you don't have it installed yet, go ahead and do install.packages for Tibble. And we'll also use library data pasta. So install and run those. So data pasta is a library that interfaces with RStudio. To deal with that, you just click on Tools, click on Add-ins, Browse Add-ins. And you see there's quite a few I have on my system. I want to look at Paste as data frame, Paste as Scribble, and Paste as vector. So let's double click that, click keyboard shortcuts, and you see quite a few options. I want to click into the shortcut window for Paste as data frame, and I'm going to hold down Shift, Command, and D. And for Tribble, I'm going to do Shift, Command, T, and at vector, Shift, Command, V. Apply. Execute. Okay, well, that's a little bit of a preview of what's to come. So step one, let's find a data set that we would like to bring in. We're going to look at Hamilton grosses. It's linked there in the walkthrough. So step one is grab the data, copy it, select and copy. Step two is to hold down Shift, Command, T, and it shows up as a data frame. And so what's happening is it's translating all the copied data into a structured way that R can interpret. And it's building a table based on Tibble and the Tribble function. So let's first assign this to a new data frame, df1. And I had some issues with this before, but let's take a look at the structure of this. So you see how weak ending, all these, you see the first line before the squiggles, these words, gross, portion, attendance, previews, capacity. You see how that lines up with this data frame? That's fine. But I'm warning you, you should go ahead and change this out now because it's going to give you problems. You're going to swap out the symbol in column names because remember, R does not like symbols in its column headers. So let's change these to pers. Every time you see a percent sign in the column names, change that to perc, short for percent. And now I can run this select this all and Control Enter, and there it is. df1. It looks exactly like that. Exactly. Now I'm going to need to clean this up some. If I wanted to do some calculations, I would. Right now it's interpreting this. Let's take a look. Structure of df1. And it's interpreting all these. It's got the date as a character. It's got the gross as character. It's got the percent as character. The only ones, it has attendance as number, and that's like the only thing it has right. So if I wanted to like add up gross over time, it would give me an error because it's interpreting it as a string. So I would need to clean this up before I moved on. Which I'll show you how to do eventually. Now, what if we had just a single vector? Let's say I want to just copy this one. Maybe there's one particular one row into a vector. So copy that, and then I just press Control V. Shift Command V, which was what I had set up in the shortcuts before. And now I can save that. Let's point that as a new vector. And that's that. And this time this works, because it's not a column name. The other option, instead of using the Tibble, was pasting as a data frame. My only concern with that is it's not as clean as a Tibble might be. Tibbles are pretty good, are a newer way of dealing with data frames, and thus it handles a lot of oops. So that's pasting in it just without any cool translation. So Control D, Shift Command D for me was the new. So you see, instead of Tibble from above, Tribble as a function, it uses data frame as a function here. So df2. What happens if I try this? It's gonna. Yeah, I got some errors. So maybe it's the same thing as before, where it doesn't like %. I'll try this. Perk. And perk. All for %. So let's, fingers crossed, maybe it'll work. Okay. Hey, not bad. df2. Alright, so you've got a couple options. You've got paste as data frame, and you've got paste as Tibble. And so that's a really quick and easy way to deal with data that you just want to play around with very quickly and get it into R so you can start looking at it, structure, you can start cleaning it and doing some quick analysis on it. I'm only showing this under the agreement that you will, after you've played around with it, you think it's worth continuing, that you then take this data and move it into a spreadsheet and save it locally so that you can share this data and not tell people to copy and paste it. Because, for example, in my previous walkthrough, I had everyone pointed to like a previous year. So if this always is updating. So if I'm trying to get people to replicate a particular set of months, this is always going to be the latest set of numbers. Right here, like in 2019 and 2018 season. So this is why when you want it to point things to the right way. So copy and paste using data pasta is very convenient, but in the long term, please do it the correct way. All right, I'm depending on you.